I packed so many useless things when I moved to Japan and forgot the things that I actually needed. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Opendana Esparasa. I work and live in Japan as an English teacher, and I'm from Nairobi, Kenya. Today, I'm going to cover a myriad of items, things probably you didn't expect that you needed to pack when you moved to Japan, from birth control and documents and skincare, because guess what? Japan is that country that it's very decorated on the outside, and it's living in 2050. But the moment you land in this country and you realize there are so many regulations around skincare products, medication, you'll realize that Japan is not what you actually expected. So let's get started right now from documents. These are basically your essentials. For those of you who are planning to stay in Japan long term, make sure that you carry your academic documents, your medical documents. If you plan on getting any medical care in Japan, make sure you have your identification cards, like your ID from your country, your driver's license, your passport, documents that are very important to you. Some of us move to Japan thinking that we are not going to stay long, and then you're here and you need to find a job, but you left your degree at home, you left your academic certificates or whatever back home. So make sure you pack those with you. Japan is also one of those countries that requires lots of walking. You most probably are going to do like 20,000 steps if you plan on exploring Tokyo and the different districts in Tokyo. So always make sure that you bring comfortable shoes. If you're coming to work, Japan has an indoor and outdoor culture when it comes to shoes. So make sure you have a comfortable pair of shoes to go to work, and then you have a comfortable pair of shoes for indoor movement. Okay. The next thing you want to consider is 2 to 3 professional outfits if you're coming to work specifically. The one mistake that I did was to overbuy and overpurchase things when coming from Kenya to Japan, and I ended up not wearing majority of those items. In fact, I threw out some shoes and clothes. And don't get me wrong, it's not that those clothes are bad or terrible. When you move to a new country, the fashion is different, the environment is different. So clothes that would probably look nice in your country, don't cut it for Japan. So try to get at least 2 to 3 professional items, and then if needed, you can get some here. Now, what formula do I recommend? Usually just go with neutral colors. If you can get black, navy blue, and gray, you are good to go. And you can always mix up those colors, black and gray, black and navy, navy and gray. They always can be mixed and matched to form different outfits. So guys, don't be like me, don't overpack. Now, in summer, Japan is very hot. The humidity, I don't think you can survive. And anyone from Africa thinking that, maybe in my country it's a little bit hot, because that's the assumption. Japan is hotter. And the downside is Japanese deodorants are very weak. In fact, even on a normal day, like in spring, winter, think of the chillest weather or seasons, the deodorant won't last an hour, maximum 2 hours. So you make sure you plan enough supply of deodorant, whether it's spray, whether it's your roll-on, whatever it is. Make sure you bring a whole lot. Let's talk about lotion and body care, especially for Black people. I don't know if this is just a Black people problem or even people of other races like white, Latinas, or people from other Asian countries. But Japan has a huge amount of brightening and whitening ingredients in their lotions or their body care products, or even some skincare products. And if you're a Black person and you don't want to lighten your skin unknowingly, or you want, a good lotion that doesn't alter your skin color, you want to bring your lotion from home. And also, Japan does have the major brands like your Nivea, your Vaseline, but I realized that they have scents, or I can't say flavors, maybe scents that work for the Japanese market. And many Black people like to use things like cocoa butter, shea butter, coconut scented items. You're most probably not going to find that in Japan. So if you prefer those particular scents, make sure you bring your own. And if it's lotion, just know that a lot of lotions here would have whitening or brightening components. Not all of them, but majority of them. So make sure to bring a good supply. Bring a few comfort items, specifically things like snacks or spices and some ingredients, because Japan is just one of those countries where you really can't find everything, and there are lots of restrictions. Hey, that's my African tongue coming out. Restrictions. There are lots of restrictions surrounding food, spices, and just everything, because Japan is very, very, very strict when it comes to the health of their citizens and the quality assurance of items in general. So you most probably will not find certain items in Japan. So make sure you bring your comfort food, but please make sure to check the immigration restrictions and requirements. For example, meat products and plants specifically are not allowed in Japan. Things like sausages, bacon, just think meat products are not allowed. Fish, you could bring them, but please check. Please, there's some restrictions around things that can grow in this country, and that includes seeds, and meat, to be specific, can spread certain diseases that Japan doesn't want in their country. So as you plan your food, your comfort items, make sure to check the rules and regulations. Another thing would be your prescription medication. If there's any specific medication that you take, please make sure to bring that with you, because before you find a doctor in Japan, it could be a hassle, because not many Japanese doctors speak English. And also, if you do find a Japanese doctor anyway who doesn't speak English, they would need to see like a record, and some medication is just not found in Japan. I can tell you for sure, even your basic painkillers here are not as strong as back home, and many foreigners have complained about this, that they need to take 2 or 3 above their prescription to actually feel relief. So that is something to consider. Now, let's talk about clothing and sizing specifications. As a fashion enthusiast, trust me, I'm the best person to tell you this, but Japan has something called the Asian fitting, or the Asian fit, meaning that their pants are made specifically for Asian bodies, maybe not so wide when it comes to hips and thigh area, maybe it's so high rise or too high waisted, and that is something that you need to consider, especially if you have African jeans, or you're curvy, or you have thick thighs. Some pants might not fit you well. They could be the right size, but the fitting is off, because maybe they're too narrow on the hips or they're too narrow on the thighs, so it has this awkward fitting. And even if you go too small, the fitting is still a problem. When you go too big, there's always that fitting situation going on, especially at the crotch over here. It tends to be so long, so if you go short, it feels short. If you go like a larger size, it becomes longer. So that's a problem that I've encountered. So if this is a challenge for you, obviously there are ways around it, but just consider this, especially when you're moving. You don't want to scramble for items. On the same breath, if you are a plus size, I want to say I don't want to broad brush, because when I was moving to Japan, watching videos, I was made to believe I couldn't find my size. And when I was moving here, I was size 14, UK 14, but I still found pants that fit me. However, if you're larger than a size 16, maybe UK 16, UK 18 and above, it could be a little bit tricky, but you could still find something, especially with some Japanese stores like Uniqlo. They do have like large sizes, but unfortunately they only have them online. So that's another downside. You can't really walk into a store and fit. So you'll have to purchase them online, fit them. If they don't fit, return them. And also the Japanese sizes could be a little bit confusing on the site. For example, right now I'm a UK 10, 12, because I lost a bit of weight. So I kind of fit in the large, but the large is just a little bit tight. But if I go XL, it's baggy. So you always have to consider like what sizing fits you the best, considering the Asian fitting and also just the sizes, the size range in general. If you're tall, I want to say Even me, I'm 5'6", but their regular pants are a little bit too short. But Uniqlo, for example, has like tailored pants and everything. They have the long length, and I think the long length goes up to 76 centimeters max. So if you're taller, you could have a bit of problem. Even I tried to get the 72. It's a little bit just short at my ankle. I want it a bit longer so I could wear a 76 for a perfect like fit with just a little bit of closer to the ground. But if you're taller than 5'6", I think you're going to have a bit of a challenge. But if you don't mind, the 76 centimeters is kind of the longest that I have seen in Japan. Another thing to consider would be also broad shoulders, because like I said, it's the Asian fit thing. Their clothes are tailored to fit the Asian bodies. So if you have broader shoulders, you might have troubles with shirts or t-shirts and jackets because you really can't find anything that would fit you. But we do have like some foreign stores like H&M and Zara. They do stock some pieces, but then again, remember that they are stocking these pieces for the Asian market. So sometimes they might not have a bigger size unless you check online and not in physical stores. Shoe sizes. Now, I was also under the impression that as a size 7, UK 7, which is like a European 40, I was worried that I couldn't find my size. It's not easy to find your shoe size in Japan as well, because they use the lettering system like small, medium, large, XL, and that thing really confused me when I moved here, because what do you mean I wear an XL shoe, you know? But as a European 40 and UK 7, I wear XL in Japan, which is like extra large. But it's very difficult to find a shoe size past XL in Japan. But we do have like international brands like Nike or Onitsuka Tigers that they do stock like larger sizes. But if you're just looking for your regular pair, you just want to pick something from the store and go, it could be a bit of a hassle. Also, if you have like very wide feet, or maybe your plus size, I don't know if saying fat feet is a thing, but yeah, for the sake of this video, to be just descriptive, if you have fat feet, that could also be a bit of a challenge because the shoes tend to be very narrow. Let's move to skincare. This is one of those topics that, you know, it really caught me by surprise, because my image of Japan and Asia in general is like this skincare hub, like a country that really has gotten the skincare formulations right. What I didn't expect, however, as somebody who has dealt with problematic skin from a very young age, from my teenage years, I didn't bother bringing so much skincare products, because I was like, I'm going to Japan. Japan is a first world country. I'm going to get all the skincare products in Kenya for I don't know how much, very expensive, yet in Japan it could be cheaper. Shock on me. Japan has lots of regulations when it comes to ingredients specifically, and this starts all the way from food to body care, skincare, medication, any product. Which is to say that if you have very problematic skin and you want to target things like hyperpigmentation, or you have severe acne or post-inflammatory scars and all those things, I'm sorry to tell you that Japan is not the country for that. Don't get me wrong. Japan is very good with hydration products like moisturizers, like serums, masks and everything. Good cleansers as well. Gentle cleansers, but you're not going to get your salicylic acid, your niacinamide, your glycolic acid. You would not find it here, and unfortunately you can't even ship them in. So if you think, oh, maybe I'll just ship it in from Amazon US, they're restricted even when it comes to those products getting into the country. I tried to ship in, the ordinary glycolic acid. It is restricted. There are products even within like the La Roche-Posay, if you know the cleanser, the Effaclar cleanser, the gel one, cannot be found in this country, and you can't ship it in. So if you have really problematic skin, or you use specific skincare products like Accutane and tretinoin and all those things, make sure you carry a good enough supply. And if it's medication like Accutane and tretinoin, things that you have to get from a pharmacy and not necessarily a skincare store, make sure you have a prescription, because sometimes at the immigration, it could be a hassle, especially if it's a lot. They would assume you're coming to sell them here, or Japan, just follows the rules by the book. So if it's too much, or if they suspect that this is too much for one person, just make sure to have a prescription with your name on it. Let's talk birth control and just sexual wellness in general. Like I said, the same for clothing and every other thing, shoes, whatever. The Asian fit is a thing. So if you're a man and you plan on engaging in, sexually with somebody, make sure you carry your own condoms, because the condom sizes here are not as expansive. They're not as large as the Western sizes. Some people tend to ship them in, but you don't have to go through that hassle if you can just bring some from home. So make sure to bring a good enough supply. You could find, I've seen some XL, but I don't know if it's Japan XL or Western XL, if you know what that means. For women, birth control and emergency pills as well. Like I said, you can't find your regular emergency pill over the counter in Japan. You'll have to book a doctor's appointment. You have to explain yourself to the doctor and say, hey, I fornicated and I need those pills. So, and you need to take them within 72 hours. So you can imagine if you have to go through this process and time is running out and you don't get the pills on time, my sister, you're in trouble. Yeah, so make sure you bring at least a decent, not a whole lot, because remember, make sure to read the immigration rules regarding medication and even birth control, to be specific, but bring a decent supply, maybe like a 3 cycle, like just 3 packets maybe. By 3 packets, I mean if it's the emergency pills, like just 3, because they're usually 2, so maybe 3 of those. And if you're in birth control, please get your IUD if you're back home in your country, or it's medication, if they're injections, whatever birth control you are on, make sure that you get that sorted out before coming to Japan. Like I said, Japan is very, very strict, so you don't want to find yourself in a difficult situation and you don't know how to move on from there. Okay, hair. And this is specifically for Black people or just people of color. I think for people with straight hair, you can find products that work well for your hair. But Black people, to be specific, trust me, I've been here for 2 years and I can say for sure that there are products you shouldn't waste your money on bringing to Japan. And that is shampoo and deep conditioner. From my experience, Japanese hair products have worked a lot better on my hair compared to, products that are made specifically for our hair type. This is it's not controversial because I've had this, discussion on TikTok a lot, but Japan does have like very good hair care, shampoos, deep conditioners, perfect. However, if you're the kind of person that has a specific routine and your products already work for you, please bring them to Japan. The one thing, however, that I would want, many Black people to carry, to be specific, hair gels. The gel here, I do use a Japanese gel. I don't know where it is, but I'm going to insert a picture on the screen, but it's from the male section and that's why it works. It's very good, but it's water-based. But from what I know, it can't work on very tough, falsy hair. It does work on my hair pretty well, I wouldn't complain, but not as well as the Eco Styler gel, but it's not bad. But if you're the kind of person who struggles with gels, even the regular gels, you have to get like a strong gel to work on your hair. Make sure you bring a decent supply. I would recommend the Go-To-Be glue gel and maybe Eco Styler gel or any gel of your choice, but make sure you stock up on that. Another thing would be leave-in conditioners. In Japan, they really don't understand the concept of leave-in conditioner. A conditioner should be washed out in this country. So they have no options for leave-in conditioners. They would have hair moisturizers, but it's more like a milky, I would say like a hair lotion or something, but bring your own leave-in conditioner. Hair oils as well. I've found that the hair oils here are a bit heavy. Yeah, they're a bit heavy and they're not as effective, I would say. They're mostly to put shine and not moisturize your hair, or not to, I don't know how to put it, but they don't really work well with our hair types, at least from my experience. Another thing would be heat protectant sprays or lotions or whatever, because straight hair doesn't need that much protection, at least from ChatGPT. That's what it says. So the strength or it doesn't work as well as a heat protectant that has been made specifically for our hair type, because our hair doesn't really do well with heat. So you need something that offers great protection, and Japanese heat protectants don't actually do that, and they tend to be a bit complicated. For example, they could be in oil form, then like lotion, serum-ish form, and sometimes we need a quick solution, just spray and then work your magic. So make sure you bring your own heat protectant product. On that same breath, blow dryers. Yeah, Japan does have blow dryers to dry their hair, not to straighten, if that makes sense. They do have like hot combs and everything to straighten or flatten their hair, but they don't have blow dryers that can take, the combs and the diffusers that our blow dryers back home use. They don't have that. And some people could say like, I could just bring the attachments, but the thing is, the blow dryers here tend to have like a wider mouth. What's the name? Like, it's wider, so even the combs cannot fit inside of them well, so that's going to be a challenge. So if you can, bring a small blow dryer and attachments, but also remember to bring an adapter for them, because Japan has a very different socket situation, or it has a different closet situation. So bring your adapters. I didn't bring that, and I really regret. However, I do use the combo one. It works for me because I just need to do a blowout. But if you're the kind of person that needs your hair straightened, flattened completely, you need to bring your own. For the men, bring your own clippers, because I've never in my life seen a black barber in Tokyo or in Japan. They're there, but they're not as many. And also for the women, bring enough hair extensions. If it's wigs, braiding hair, kinky hair, make sure you bring them, because unfortunately the braiders here charge an insane amount of money. Maybe if you're from America, that would be cheap for you, but if you're from Africa, I'm not gonna pay 40, 30, 50,000 yen to get my hair done every month. So bring a good enough supply of hair. You can do it by yourself, or it's even cheaper if you want to get it done professionally if you have your own extensions. That's easier. Lastly, let's talk about things that you shouldn't overpack. Don't bring your coats and whatever. Japan has really good coats. They're very expensive, but if you're coming in winter or whatever, just bring one coat. Some people tend to carry kitchen like appliances and stationery. Japan has a good supply of electronic devices. However, make sure that your phone is unlocked when you're moving into the country, because it could be locked and then you're in Japan and you're stranded. So make sure you have an unlocked phone. That's all for this video. Always remember that Japan does have a lot of things, almost everything that you need, but it will not always be to your preference. So I hope this video answers all your questions. Thank you. See you again next time. Bye.